So I recently saw Sound of Freedom, and this movie, it has to be the most heaviest movie ever because it deals with trafficking for underage people. And this movie, if you heard about it throughout TikTok and social media, then you pretty much know like how important this movie is because it just brings the awareness based on a true story of this guy named Tim who literally just sacrificed his life to try to go ahead and save every single kid as possible. And throughout this whole movie, we can see like clips of like kids, like in the beginning of the movie, like kids are being taken away from like their parents by these traffickers. And then like even towards the end of the movie that we actually see real footage of like Tim actually saving and being in these sting operations on try to rescue these kids. And it is just so like mind-blowing. And like when I went to the theater was packed. On top of that, everyone was crying and everyone was clapping like towards the end of the movie because this is a movie that everyone I said everyone should like actually watch because it's the awareness of protecting your kids and like just trying to like stop this industry from like advancing. The tone of this movie is so serious that it showcases and highlights the seriousness and the dangers that these kids go through. And but not only that, but how like Tim and the rest of the people that's actually helping Tim rescuing these kids, like how crucial it is and how much they have to be careful so that way their cover won't be blown. Because in the beginning of the movie, we see that Tim, he's doing like his regular work because he works for like Homeland Security, but he deals with, people who are doing harm to kids, the P word. And so we just see him trying to go on ahead and try to like, get them and catch them. And there's even one point that you can just see the disgust that he has, but he has to play the role of like trying to be friends with the P word people to find these kids and to get these kids because you could just tell like this is a disgusting matter like what these P word people are doing. Not only that too, what the human trafficking people are also doing as well, because like the level of danger, because there was just one sentence that just showcased like one small move and then you just pretty much just like leave your connection, like you will lose the connection because one guy said that, oh, because Tim was actually looking for this girl because he rescued her brother and her brother was like, hey, I have a sister and she actually got kidnapped as well. And then so when he went to Brazil, they were saying like, yeah, no, she got kidnapped in Brazil, but she can also be in like Russia, United States, Canada, just everywhere. So this thing should showcase how highlight like once a kid is being like trafficked and kidnapped, they can be anywhere at this moment. They can just be right next door, or they could just be halfway around the world or halfway around the country. Like it's just really insane. And I really do like how this movie, even though like they put a fine line because they don't just show you like, like the deep dark things just for shock value. They show you enough to get you the idea of like, yeah, this is a serious matter and this is something that these kids should not go through. And it's still uncomfortable. Like everyone in the movie was literally crying and everyone was just so sad. But the movie is 2 hours and 13 minutes or 30 minutes, but it doesn't feel like because the whole time you're just watching this great performance that Jim, and I know like he does some other acting stuff, like he did the Passion of Christ, he did a Person of Interest. He does so many projects this, but he did a real good job as portraying Tim, and this is a based on a true story. And it's really ridiculous how the fact like people find controversy towards this film, and like the controversy shouldn't even matter. This whole movie is just all about protecting your kids, making sure they're okay, and stopping these trafficking people to do harm to these kids because it's just really ridiculous. So all I can say about this movie is that to check it out, like just watch it. but the movie has a good message, and it showcased like how seriousness it is, and it actually do appreciate how what the movie was able to do was that it was able to showcase like the actual footage of him in his sting operations, and especially too when he rescues like 120 something kids. Like this man sacrificed his own freedom to save other people to get their freedom, and it is just a really good and amazing story. Like towards the end of the movie, everyone was clapping, everyone was cheering, and this is just a very, very powerful, good movie. Like I said, I will recommend everyone to watch this movie. If I have to give a rating on this movie, I will give it honestly a 9, and I honestly would just give it like pretty much a grade, like an A, because just how like the tone of how the movie is just grabs your attention, and it's just honestly too like the message, and also too like knowing that this is a serious matter, and especially too that is still an ongoing thing, and especially too like how people are still doing this. It's just really really crazy. But other than that, like I'm sorry if this review doesn't really sound good, but that's just how my view of this movie was. It was really good, and and if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is the Monotone Man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.